Secretary Redding, thank you so much for doing an interview with me. We've done this several times before, and here we are at the 101st Farm Show.
Pleasure's mine. Welcome.
Yeah, highlighting agriculture in Pennsylvania. And you've been to the Bloomsburg Fair many times where I serve as a director, and we certainly like to highlight the agricultural end of it there as well, and a lot of new and exciting things coming out. Could you tell us a little bit about agriculture and 4-H FFA and how we keep our youth involved in the future of ag?
Well, first of all, welcome to the Farm Show, and always a pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure you feel at home here, right? Both for the show, but also your good work at Bloomsburg, and a lot of similarities in the challenges of hosting these types of shows, but thanks for all you do. You know, we have an amazing story here at the Farm Show and in Pennsylvania with agriculture. It's one that has been incredibly important to us, but it's also critical to the future, right? But we've got to keep our young people interested in it. Part of that is done and encouraged through what we do at the fairs, what we do at the Farm Show, find opportunities, bring the leadership in, you know, give them a chance to really touch agriculture, look at the food system. So excited about it, great opportunities.
And I always said that there's 109 local bases out there that can encourage agriculture, and that's through the 109 fairs in PA. And 4-H and FFA, what a better place to network. And you know, we've talked many times, the two of us, that being a good steward of our land plays right into agriculture, and certainly the quality of food that's on our dinner table. If you'd like to highlight what your department does to ensure that chain of good food.
Well, it's interesting this year, you know, if you look at the butter sculpture, there's this culture of stewardship. That the whole butter, 1,000 pounds of butter, is molded into a landscape, and it was very intentional. That we know sort of the obvious benefit of agriculture as food. We don't often think about the stewardship and the quality of life and the water recharge and the natural resources, but it is part and parcel to a vibrant and sustainable industry.
And serving on the Agricultural Committee in the House, we've had varying legislation come out, whether it was high tunnels and the list goes on and on. You as the Secretary of Ag in this great Commonwealth, can you highlight for our listening public here some of the major pieces of legislation that have had a direct impact on your department and agriculture?
Yeah, no, just, I mean, there's two recent. One is the expansion of industrial hemp production in Pennsylvania. You know, we finally have the legal authority to do that. We had to seek that from Congress, the state legislature, and your support. We got it done. We are now in year 2017 with at least the opportunity to plant on a pilot basis industrial hemp to see what it looks like. You know well that there are towns and townships in Pennsylvania with the name hemp in them, right? So it's not new to Pennsylvania, but we lost the authority for some years. So that's important. It's another opportunity. We'll see where that goes. You know, the realty transfer tax for preserved farms was another recent piece of legislation. We had some townships that, you know, were trying to collect the realty transfer tax from preserved farms. And as you know, that is only a transfer by restriction of easement, not by ownership. So it didn't, from our standpoint, seem appropriate. Legislature responded to that. Very important.
And when we talk about good stewards of the land, certainly a lot of our environmental practices, the good practices, really had their inception on the farms.
Yeah, I mean, it's still about, what's missed many times is that, I mean, you're going to take good care of your tools, right? Soil is a tool. And folks have done that, have been good stewards, and they've done a great job of taking care of it. But it's a story we have to keep talking about, and have to keep pointing to.
And farmers are very giving people, and they're very dedicated to what they do. And another program that the Department of Ag is very much involved in is the Share the Harvest.
I am amazed that after 20 years, I think, we just hit the 1 million pound mark of hunters sharing the harvest, donated venison to the food bank and the tradable food system. I think it's a great story, both about the hunters and what they are giving to their community, but it's also a great story about our charitable food system in Pennsylvania, a network that can really respond to the needs of 1 million people who were at risk of hunger.
And when we go back to the networking of our youth and their involvement in agriculture, one statistic always baffles a lot of people when I tell them, and that is that all 67 counties in Pennsylvania have either 4-H or FFA.
Yeah, and the largest chapters are in urban centers.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a great story.
And amazing with it, so many of the youth that I've become involved with through 4-H and FFA have such a dedicated interest, not only in the future of farming, but in all of the safe practices of farming and all of the new and creative and innovative ideas that are coming out of our agricultural college right here in the Commonwealth of Penn State.
Yeah, we have a great treasure here called our land grant University Penn State, and to think, I often marvel, that during a Civil War of 1863, Congress and a president came together to pass the act that created our land grant institutions, right? So there is hope that even in times of tension, divided country, you can come together and do great things. And I use it as a great story about investment and vision for America.
And we've done so well in Pennsylvania with some of our practices that we had foreign visitors come in recently that you had an opportunity to meet with.
Yeah, we had a delegation from South Korea, and they were here. They visited with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and federal officials about trade, but really it was about biosecurity and the concerns of avian influenza. That is a big issue for us in Pennsylvania. The legislature and your personal support to make sure that we had the resources in the department to protect our industry against that. They were here to visit the U.S. Department of Agriculture, came to Pennsylvania, knew of the good work that we've done. What they were really impressed by is that we have the animal health and diagnostic system that connects the University of Pennsylvania Vet School with Penn State University and the Department of Agriculture in a real-time diagnostic system. In South Korea, that's all a federal government action. We have that resource in Pennsylvania.
Well, and so many of our foreign countries face the same dilemma that we're in the United States. Less acreage, more population. How do we feed them?
Right. How do you do it? Right. And how do you add 2 billion people over the next sort of 40 years by projection when you're already stressed on resources and
Exactly.
basic resources like water and land? How do you do that? That is an agricultural challenge.
And what do you see as the future of agriculture in the Commonwealth?
Well, it's a bright future. As I tried to lay out today during our State of Agriculture address, with the Public Officials Day, I think it's a great future, but we're going to be pressed at all sides, right? Because we're in a global market. We have farmers markets locally, we have futures markets nationally. How do you manage that? But we've been on a path of change for 250 years. We'll continue, but very positive, very bright.
Well, and certainly with the good oversight from your department, the good practices out in the field, so to speak, I think our future is bright here, and it's a partnership. Everybody's got a hand in it, and we'll work together. And certainly my pleasure to work with you as the Ag Secretary to be good stewards and communicators of a great message that we can tell all of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we appreciate the partnership and your good work. Thank you.
Thank you.